Soriano. Councilmember Argumedo.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Garcia.
Here.
Mayor Lainez.
Here.
Let the record reflect Councilmember Rebollo is here, but not on the dais yet.
That is correct. She will be participating in closed session. We do have a quorum, so we'll now move on to public comment. Madam City Clerk, do we have any speakers?
None.
Okay, great. So at this point, we'll recess to closed session. Interim City Clerk Jaques Nares, could you please recess us to closed session?
Yes, sir. The council will discuss 3 items. The first item is conference with legal counsel pursuant to Government Code Sections 54956.9 D2 and E2 regarding anticipated potential litigation, 3 cases. Item 2 is pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.6. The City Council will confer with its labor negotiator, Ernie Hernandez, with respect to labor negotiations pertaining to A, the memorandum of understanding between the city and the City of Commerce Employees Association on behalf of the part-time employees and on behalf of the mid-management and non-management full-time employees. And then item number 3 is pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.8. The City Council will confer with its real property negotiator, Ernie Hernandez, with respect to the real property negotiations on the purchase of a portion of Tubeway Avenue, public right-of-way north of Telegraph Road and south of Smithway Street.
Okay, great. Thank you for that. And we will now recess to closed session. everyone. The council will now reconvene from closed session. Attorney Tapia, could you please provide your report?
Certainly, Mr. Mayor. With all 5 members of the City Council being present, the City Council met in closed session, discussed item number 1. There are 3 cases listed under the anticipated potential litigation item. 1 case was discussed and completed. Staff made a presentation. City Council provided direction. No final reportable action was taken. A second case discussion was commenced, but it wasn't completed. The third item was not discussed, and the City Council did not discuss items 2A or 2B or item number 3, and it is the intent of the council to reconvene into closed session following the conclusion of the open session part of this City Council meeting. That completes my report out of closed session. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that, Mr. City Attorney. I now call to order the April 14th concurrent joint meetings of the City Council of the City of Commerce, Joint Powers Financing Authority, and the governing body of the successor agency to the Commerce Community Development Commission. Madam Interim City Clerk, could you please call roll?
Yes, sir. Councilmember Altamirano.
Here.
Councilmember Argumedo.
Here.
Councilmember Rebollo. Here. Mayor Pro Tem Garcia.
Here.
Mayor Lainez.
Here. Okay, great, and we do have a quorum. This time, I ask you all to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led by our City Attorney, Noel Tapia, and remain standing for our invocation led by Mayor Pro Tem Garcia.
All right, if we place our right hand over our heart, begin after me. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sorry. Good evening. As we gather tonight, we recognize that our community, like many others, continue to navigate a time of change and uncertainty. In moments like these, the importance of strong leadership and open dialogue becomes essential. Let us all take a moment to recognize that many strengths within our city as we honor some today with National Library Week, Autism Acceptance Month, and our local student athletes ensure high school girls water polo team. May these examples guide us as we carry out our work this evening. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Noel and Mayor Pro Tem Garcia. At this time, we'll move on to appearances and presentations, and we'll switch things up a little bit. And the first item I'd like to do is the Autism Acceptance Month proclamation. This will be presented by Recreation Administrative Coordinator Patricia Barunda.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and members of the City Council. Tonight, we proudly recognize Autism Acceptance Month, a time to celebrate inclusion, understanding, and the unique strengths of every individual in our community. Here in the City of Commerce, we are committed to creating welcoming spaces for where all residents can participate, grow, and thrive. Our participants are an important part of our programs, and we are proud of the joy and success we see every day. Our participants are actively engaged in our recreation youth sports programs, where they stay active, build confidence, and develop important life skills. They also enjoy our adaptive swimming programs, where they continue to grow in strength and confidence. Some love being in the water and can swim lap after lap, showing incredible determination and joy. They also enjoy going up to Camp Commerce, where they build friendships and experience new opportunities. Beyond our programs, we see the impact throughout the community. Outside organizations that use our library facilities and our recreation facilities constantly share how welcomed and supported they feel when they are here in our facilities. Now, as part of Autism Acceptance Month, our Commerce Public Library is hosting a special Meet the Author event featuring Claudia Maldonado, where the author of Magnificent Minds. This event celebrates children with autism and their unique talents, and provides families an opportunity to connect through reading and shared experiences. Each of you have also received a copy of this book to help share that message of inclusion. In addition, you'll notice that City Hall is lit up blue this month. This is a simple but meaningful way to show our support and stand in solidarity with individuals with autism and their families. Autism Acceptance Month reminds us that inclusion is something we practice every day, that our programs, our facilities, and how we come together through our programs, our facilities, and how we come together as a community. At this time, we invite you to watch a short video highlighting some of our amazing participants that are here with us today.
Big Brother's doing good.
Come on, Issa! Shoot it! Shoot it, Issa! Whoa! Go, man! Go! Go! Take it! Take it!
My name is Luca. I'm like Luca's older than my sister. When I first got here, I was like really nervous, like I was might not do that, but I was so like met people like that really like miss me. That like made me overcome my fear of like so funny, like I need to like get anything. It makes me like really happy to have new friends. My favorite staff are like Justin, Jimmy, Leo, and like since now today it's Brian. Like besides being really nice to me, they help me overcome things like obstacles, get over my like frustration and stuff. They're just really nice guys.
And now we invite the mayor to please read the proclamation.
Absolutely, Patty. Thank you for presenting that. So there is a proclamation of the Commerce City Council proclaiming the month of April 2026 as Autism Acceptance Month in the City of Commerce. Whereas the City of Commerce is committed to fostering an inclusive, welcoming, and supportive community for all residents, including individuals with autism and other developmental differences. And whereas April is nationally recognized as Autism Acceptance Month, a time to promote understanding, inclusion, and meaningful acceptance of individuals on the autism spectrum. And whereas Autism Acceptance Month builds upon past awareness efforts by emphasizing respect, inclusion, and the celebration of neurodiversity, recognizing the unique strengths, talents, and contributions of individuals with autism. And whereas individuals with autism are valued members of our community who contribute to the social, cultural, and economic vitality of the City of Commerce. And whereas the City of Commerce Parks and Recreation and Library Services departments proudly support inclusive programming by offering adaptive recreation opportunities, including swimming lessons, access to recreational sports, and inclusive library resources and programs that serve individuals of all abilities. And whereas the City of Commerce continues to promote accessibility and inclusion through initiatives such as calming zones at community events, providing supportive, low-stimulation environments for individuals with sensory sensitivities and their families. And whereas the City of Commerce has illuminated City Hall in blue in recognition of Autism Acceptance Month, symbolizing support, inclusion, and solidarity with individuals with autism and their families. And whereas fostering acceptance and understanding helps build stronger, more compassionate communities where all individuals are respected, supported, and empowered to thrive. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Mayor and the City Council of the City of Commerce do hereby proclaim the month of April 2026 as Autism Acceptance Month in the City of Commerce and encourage all residents to join in promoting acceptance, inclusion, and appreciation of individuals with autism, while recognizing the importance of creating opportunities that allow all members of our community to participate fully and equally. Passed, approved, and adopted this 14th day of April, 2026.
Thank you, Mayor. And at this time, we have the honor of having all 4 of our participants here tonight. And I'd like to invite Evan, Isaiah, Isai, Isabella, and Luca up here for a picture with the City Council, please.
Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Nice. Thank you.
Thank you for being here this evening, the members of our autism community. Building a community here in Commerce where everyone feels seen, heard, and valued is something that's very important to all of us. And I thank our city staff, specifically the Department of Parks and Recreation and Library Services, for just keeping inclusion as a focus in all that you do. So really appreciate it, and very proud to declare this month as Autism Acceptance Month. So thanks again. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and move on to the next item, which is National Library Week. And that will be presented by our Library Services Director, Sonia Bautista.
Hello, good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem and Council. My name is Sonia Bautista, and I'm the Director of Library Services. National Library Week will be next week. It's a celebration highlighting the valuable role libraries, librarians, and library workers play in transforming lives and strengthening our communities. Next slide, please. Early this year, the City of Commerce Library participated in a statewide community survey to better understand how residents use the library services and their overall experience when visiting. We received 436 responses that reflect an overwhelmingly positive feedback. Patrons find the library to be a vital community resource that supports education, family engagement, digital access, and a safe community space. Next slide. Borrowing books and downloading electronic items still remains a core service, but the survey results determine a few top common uses of library, which is for homework, studying, and research. Students and families rely on the library's quiet environment, and as one patron commented, I use the library to do homework, projects, and for studying. A second popular response is families frequently visit the library for storytime activities, homework help, and these programs support early literacy and provide a safe and engaging space for children. As a patron responded, storytime has helped my child learn to follow directions and participate. A third response is that access to technology plays a critical role for bridging the digital divide, offering computers, Wi-Fi, printing, and digital platforms. As a patron states, I can go to the library and check out a library Wi-Fi hotspot and attend my college courses online. And the last response I want to share with you all is the library is widely viewed as a safe, peaceful, and welcoming space for individuals and families. And as one patron says, it's the most chill library I've ever been to. This survey results clearly demonstrate that the City of Commerce Library is a trusted, valued, and essential community asset. It supports not only literacy and education, but also community connection to digital access and overall quality of life. Next slide. While overall feedback is highly positive, patrons identified opportunities for continued growth, and in their answers, they've included expanding programming for adults and seniors, additional hands-on creative workshops, increased access to technology, and interest in adding more items to the Library of Things program. We took into consideration the suggestions, and staff will continue to reinforce the library's role as a multi-generational hub serving children and teens. I would like to share with you these upcoming programs and services. So we'll start off by Dia del Niño, which is April 27. The One Book, One Coast Book Club, which will be part of, again, last time we were part of the One Book, One County, but this time it's One Book, One Coast, which covers the 3 states, Washington, Oregon, and California. And you have a copy that I left there on your desk for you to enjoy. The author, George Takei, will be hosting a book discussion on May 31st at East LA County Library, and we'll be inviting patrons to attend. Coming up is also our summer reading program to take place in July and June. We're adding an Alzheimer's memory kit to our Library of Things collection. In May, that's going to be in May. We're also going to roll out in September our Memory Lab. This Memory Lab is where we're going to invite the community to bring their old home VHS, cassettes, pictures, and negatives, and we're going to be able to convert them into a digital format. We're also going to have a breast cancer resource fair in October, as well as a college and career fair. And next Tuesday, you already have the flyer, as was mentioned earlier at the presentation, for an author who will be here reading from her new release book. And next month, we're going to launch the book, Commerce Now, One City, Many Stories. You don't have the book because this is a draft, so it's here. You get to see it, but it's printing now. It'll be on May 8, and you do have the invitation there. So I hope the community, and you can join us, and it's telling of community members and their experience of living here in Commerce. As I close my presentation, I would really like to acknowledge our innovative library staff, which I think some are here today. They're the ones who create and develop and execute these and many other programs. In March alone, we had 49 programs at our 3 libraries that are currently open. So I hope that next week, on Tuesday, April 21st, is National Library Workers Day. So if you see a library staff around, please give them a high five, because it'll be our day next Tuesday. I want to thank you all for your continued support of libraries by attending our programs, by donating to the Say Yes to the Prom Dress program that we had last Saturday, and for promoting library services. Thank you, and if you can please read the proclamation.
Absolutely. Thank you, Director Bautista. So I have a proclamation of the City Council of the City of Commerce designating April 20th through the 25th, 2026 as National Library Week here in the City of Commerce. Whereas today's libraries are not just about books, but places that foster a sense of connection and build community. Whereas libraries of all types are at the heart of cities, towns, schools, and campuses. And whereas libraries have long served as trusted and treasured institutions where people of all backgrounds can be together and connect. And whereas libraries and librarians build strong communities through transformative services, programs, and expertise. And whereas libraries which promote the free exchange of information and ideas for all, are cornerstones of democracy, promoting civic engagement. And whereas librarians and library workers partner with other civic organizations to make sure their community's needs are being met. Whereas libraries and librarians empower their communities to make informed decisions by providing free access to information for all. And whereas libraries strive to develop and maintain programs and collections that are as diverse as the population that they serve and ensure equity and access for all. And whereas libraries, librarians, library workers, and supporters across America are celebrating National Library. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the City of Commerce does hereby proclaim the week of April 20th and 25th, 2026 as National Library Week and encourage all residents to visit the library this week to take advantage of the wonderful library resources available at the City of Commerce Public Library. Passed and adopted this 14th day of April 2026 by myself and the City Council.
Thank you, and thank you at your Commerce Library. We'll see you there.
All right, thank you, Director Bautista. One challenge, let's give her a round of applause. Yeah, obviously, I do want to challenge everyone in the community to at least visit the library once this week. And if you don't have a library card in the City of Commerce, get a public library card. So hopefully we can see some more signups and more membership go up. But thank you for all the work that you and the library team are doing. You guys do phenomenal work. I know there's a lot of programming that's always in place at the library. We had a meeting with Congressman Robert Garcia's office this morning, right? And we talked about the tax preparation clinic that you had there. So just such a great and valuable source of information and such a great resource. So thank you, Director Bautista, and thank you and the team for doing such a phenomenal job. Appreciate it. Okay, so now we'll move on to item number 3, and I don't know. You guys feel that? Feel greatness. So feel like I'm in a room full of goats, right? So we'll move on to item number 3, which is the Sure High School Girls Water Polo Team recognition. So we are in the presence of greatness today. You know, I do want to thank the Sure High School Varsity Girls Water Polo Team for being here today. You had a phenomenal season, right? You know, Almont League champions, CIF Southern Section Division 4 champions, and you made it to the regional semis. So, you know, I felt that it was important to celebrate your achievements, celebrate your greatness. I know you've been very busy. I think I saw on one of your social media accounts, or the Sure Athletic social media accounts, that you were at Knott's Berry Farm last night or this week, right? Just, you know, the all CIF ceremony. But I know it's probably been a whirlwind for you. So I really thank you for making the time to come out here to the City of Commerce because, you know, obviously it's a big deal. It's a great accomplishment. So I congratulate you. Phenomenal work. And I know the team also has several Commerce residents on it. So I do want to just let you know that you're such a big source of pride and, you know, for us here in the community. So again, congratulations. I do want to kind of read the certificate of recognition that we put together for you. And hopefully you've gotten this, and if not, you'll get it tonight. But in recognition of your exceptional accomplishments during the 2026 season, including being named Almont League champions, CIF Southern Section Division 4 champions, and CIF State Southern California Regional semifinalists, for your hard work, discipline, and unwavering commitment, you have demonstrated the true meaning of teamwork, perseverance, and athletic excellence. Your dedication in and out of the pool reflects the highest standards of sportsmanship and has earned you this well-deserved recognition. Your achievements have not only brought honor to your school, but have also served as a source of pride and inspiration in its surrounding communities. You represent the strength of youth athletics and the positive impact that determination, leadership, and unity can have on future generations. The City of Commerce proudly recognizes each member of the Sure High School Girls Water Polo Team for an outstanding season and commends you for your continued pursuit of excellence. We extend our sincere congratulations and wish you ongoing success in all your academic, athletic, and personal endeavors. Presented this 14th of April, 2026, signed by myself, Kevin Lane, as the mayor of the city, as well as the rest of my colleagues here on the City Council. again, congratulations for a phenomenal season. I know the work's not done. You know, you have next season, many of you, but again, such a source of pride and inspiration. I know many of you are products of the Commerce Water Polo program here as well. So again, congrats, and I'm proud to be in the presence of champions. Now, do any of my colleagues here in the City Council have any comments? No?
Thanks, Mary. I just want to say congratulations. That's such a great accomplishment. Water polo is such a hard sport to play. A lot of people don't know how hard it is with the 8-beater and then passing the ball, trying to shoot, do a backdoor or back, shot. It's really hard. So congratulations. I also want to thank the coach for working on the fundamentals. This is why you have a strong team. So congratulations. But I wanted to say something because my niece, Danny Lynn's out there, part of the team. And I know she's worked really hard. She's tried very hard to get where she is today. So congratulations on being a great, strong player. And to all you girls, good job and keep it up. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Mayor Pro Tem. Councilwoman Rebollo.
Every time I watch playing at school level or at club level, every single game that year, I can that you were just as good or compared. So I just want to come on the last for everything that you have in the sport, for everything honest, for everything you see and constant. But as I thought it was the other night, I was trying to at a very long skirt, and to the parents, sports, business sports, decided to be having work all day and supporting your athletes and stuff in this competition. So at this time, the parents can use that as they
Yes.
So, congratulations. Thank you for representing. I'm definitely learning this content. So, congratulations.
Thank you for those comments, Councilwoman. So I did wear my trusty green tie today, so if you could all do me the honor of taking a picture with us, if you don't mind coming up. That was on.
Josh has come up.
Any family members that
Good job, coach.
All right, well, that was great. Thank you all again for coming. It's not every day that we have champions in the building, so really appreciate it. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and move on to public comments. Yeah, give it a second. Okay, so at this time, members of the public who wish to address the City Council on any agenda item or any matter not on the agenda can speak at this time, and there is a 3-minute time limit. I do have one speaker card here today, and that is Gloria Nezahualcóyotl.
Sí, Gloria de Nezahualcóyotl, de Vista del Río. Y lo que yo estoy ahora aquí tratando de pedirles a ustedes si puede hacer una ley municipal de que para detener un poco a los vendedores ambulantes que andan tocando casas de puerta en puerta todos los días tratando de vender solar, techos o cualquier cosa. Son demasiados los que andan por arriba y por abajo de las calles, que uno no sabe si son o no son, o qué es lo que andan vigilando, que andan buscando. Otras ciudades sí tienen ese reglamento de que no pueden andar en la calle y la policía los puede parar. Pero como ahorita, antes sí se podían reportar a Code Enforcement, pero ahora no sé si se puede reportar a Code Enforcement para que vayan a ver, preguntarle, hey, ¿qué pasó? ¿Qué están haciendo ustedes aquí? Le dejan flyers y tocan y nomás no hay nadie que nos proteja y puede pasar a cualquier hora. También la ciudad de San Marino, hasta los jardineros tienen que tener permiso especial para poder andar ahí trabajando. Entonces, si a ustedes también les molesta que le estén tocando la puerta a cualquiera o las horas que les da su regalada gana, por favor traten de hacer un reglamento o algo diciendo, hey, aquí no se puede, y se les agradecería mucho. Gracias.
Okay, thank you for your comment. That is the only speaker card I have, so at this time I'll go ahead and conclude public comment, and we'll go ahead and move on to the consent calendar. All items under consent are considered to be routine and may be enacted by one motion. Does anybody on the City Council wish to pull any item to consent?
Mayor, if there's no comments or anybody want to pull anything, I would move to approve the consent items.
Okay. So we have a motion by Councilman Argumedo and a second by Councilmember Altamirano. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Okay, great. So now we'll go ahead and move on to scheduled matters. And that is item number 14, which is an update from the Sheriff's Department of Public Safety in the City of Commerce. And I believe we have Sergeant Cortez here presenting.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, council members. Today's presentation is going to be a quarterly report. Basically, every 90 days, I'll come in what's going to be, April, July, October, and January, and give a quarterly report for the last 90 days. Right off the bat, I'll let you know the numbers may seem high, but overall, the percentage is down in crime. I'll make it overall quick, but I'll be clear about it. I'll go over the month of March to begin with. And in March, in the three categories, which is crime against person, homicide, rape, and felony assaults, the first part of that is homicide, 1 reported homicide, 0 rape, 5 felony assaults. That total is going to be 6, which is a year-to-date total, quarterly report of 18 crimes against person in the 90 days. The next group is crimes against property. Those are 5 parts. The parts are robbery, burglary, thefts, auto thefts, known as GTA, and arson. Robbery, we have for the month of March 7. All 7 were armed robberies. Year to date, 18. Burglary, 9. 1 residential, 8 commercial. Year to date, 20. Thefts, 63. It's broken into many subsections. Year to date, 178. GTA, 22. Year to date, 63. For the month of March, arson, 0. Year to date, 2. And for crimes against property, the grand total for March, for March is 101. Year to date, 281. That's in 90 days. The total between crimes against person and crimes against property for the month of March is 107. Year to date, it's 299. What's that breakdown approximately? In 31 days in March, that's about 3.5 crimes per day. And in the 90 days, it's less than 3.5 crimes per day. The next half of that same slide is the comparison of the same 90 days a year ago from now. And in that report, it shows that homicide, it is an increase of 1 from 0. Two from 1 a year ago. Felony assaults is an increase of, is 15 from a year ago, 21. So that's a decrease overall. And in those totals, year to date again is 18. Year to date a year ago was 22, a reduction of 18% in crimes against person. In crimes against property, robberies, again, 18, a year ago, 13. Burglaries, year to date, 20, a year ago, 18. Thefts, 178, year to date, a year ago, 224. GTAs, year to date, 63, a year ago, 92. Arsons are equal, 2 and 2. And for crimes against property, it's 281 year to date, 349 a year ago, a decrease of 19%. In total, the same number, 299 year to date, a year ago, this time, 371 for a decrease of 19% in crime. I'd like to give credit. There's a lot of reasons why crime has decreased here in Commerce year to date. One of them is I'd like to give credit to the team to describe the team deputies versus line deputies. The team deputies are the 6 deputies specifically assigned to Commerce for special assignments. The line deputies are the deputies assigned to Commerce to work 24/7. One of the many agendas or goals we have had is high visibility. In many neighborhood watch meetings, the residents have reported that it seems that they have seen the deputies and the patrol, the radio cars, more lately than before. And so high visibility is a good reason for the decrease in crime 90 days this year versus 90 days a year ago. I'd also like to give credit to the Public Safety Division, Natalie Hernandez and Rebecca Morosky Longoria for putting together a lot of projects to bring the community together to work to gain information from the Sheriff's Department on how to combat crime. And I'd also like to give credit to all the PSOs, the public safety officers, and the Public Safety Division. Next slide. Along with this quarterly report, I'm going to give one story each quarterly report presentation. This one begins in January and ends in pretty much in current date. It reads as follows. On January 27th, 2026, at approximately 3 p.m., Commerce team deputies were patrolling Bristol Park. They saw a male black adult who displayed behavior of being under the influence of a controlled substance. After a lawful detention, deputies recovered narcotics paraphernalia and arrested the suspect. At the booking window at the jail, deputies requested a parole violation and were initially approved, and later through the process learned that the local Superior Court ordered the suspect request for the parole violation. On March 17, 2026, the same suspect committed a violent theft, which is known as an Estes robbery, in the city of unincorporated East Los Angeles. Detectives sent out a wanted bulletin with no suspect identification. It's often known as a wanted for information or wanted and then information needed. And all the detectives had was a photograph of the suspect, which is them or him in the pink shirt. Commerce deputies saw the bulletin and recognized the suspect. The Commerce team deputies participated in a photo array interview with the station detectives and provided station investigators the suspect's identification. A Ramey warrant was issued for his arrest. A short time later, on April 6th, the suspect was apprehended and is currently at the Twin Towers Correctional Facility in downtown LA. He's pending a court hearing for that Estes robbery with a bail amount of $1,130,000. And that's because they stacked all the other violations on him. In summary, after this local trial is going to be complete with its own sentencing, the robbery, the suspect is already ordered to return to state prison via a separate California Department of Corrections hold for the violation of parole, which were those indicated charges, the kidnapping and the burglary. Next slide. To kind of recap on the last meeting, Ms. Natalie Hernandez is sharpening the final draft before sending to graphics the public safety card. The public safety card is going to have a step-by-step list of procedures to effectively receive police service regarding non-emergent incidents in most circumstances. The flyer will show you how to receive follow-up information from either a station investigator, myself, and/or specialized investigating units. It also contains key phrases to communicate to the East LA Sheriff's Dispatch to improve response and service. Nevertheless, in an emergency, please call 911. In a non-emergent, it is the East LA Sheriff's Dispatch at 323-264-4151. And again, please do not call city officials, city personnel. We want to go through the police phone dispatch system or 911 system. In the center is, again, those important numbers from the Public Safety Division. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you for your presentation, Sergeant. Does the City Council have any questions? No. Okay. Well, listen, thank you for the detailed report, and appreciate you presenting the quarterly update with the story of the one criminal that was apprehended and is now incarcerated. So appreciate that. Also appreciate you and your team's work here in the community, and the Coffee with the Cop event at the Citadel Starbucks last week. So you and the deputies had a great presence, as well as with our public safety team, and just really appreciate all of your team's efforts out there. So have a good one.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we'll go ahead and move on to item number 15, which is the approval of the Gateway Monument Landscape Maintenance Agreement with Caltrans for southbound I-5 at the Eastern Median Island. And this will be presented by our Director of Works, Shahid Abbas.
Thank you, Mayor and the Council. My name is Shahid Abbas, Director of Public Works. Thank you. So, the raised median island located at the southbound I-5 freeway off-ramp at Southeastern Avenue is poorly maintained and needed improvements. This location serves as a gateway entry point into the city of Commerce and presented an opportunity to enhance the city's visual identity through beautification and landscaping enhancements. The City Council approved the design and the concept for the landscaping in September of 2023. The project area lies entirely within the Caltrans right-of-way. Therefore, the project requires Caltrans approvals and encroachment permits for the construction. Caltrans requires city to assume ongoing maintenance responsibility, which requires the execution of two separate maintenance agreements, one for the gateway itself, which has since been executed, and second agreement, which is before council tonight for approval, is the landscape maintenance agreement. The total cost of the maintenance is anticipated around $1,500 annually on this project. Design started in October of 2022 and has been completed and approved by Caltrans. The project is ready for subject to the city obtaining the required encroachment permits, which will be issued once the maintenance agreements are executed. The total cost of the project is approximately $1.8 million for design and construction. It is recommended that City Council approve the landscape maintenance agreement with the Caltrans so the staff can proceed with the construction. This concludes my presentation.
Okay, thank you for your presentation, Director Abbas. Does the City Council have any questions? Okay. At this time, I'll entertain a motion for this item.
If there's no comments or questions, I would move to approve.
Okay, so we have an approval, a motion by Councilman Argumedo, and a second by Councilmember Rebollo. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Okay, and so now we'll go ahead and move on to item number 16, which is the Rosewood Park Extension Improvement Project, and that will also be presented by Director Abbas.
Thank you, Mayor and the respected council. Again, my name is Shahid Abbas, Director of Public Works. Can we move to the next slide, please? So staff identified underutilized and vacant city-owned parcel adjacent to the back City Hall parking staff for a potential expansion of Rosewood Park. This parcel can be used to provide additional recreational amenities to Rosewood Park. Staff conducted a site visit and evaluated potential opportunities, which includes new recreational amenities like bike and pedestrian connectivity between Eastern Avenue, Gilson Street, and the Rosewood Park. The potential for park expansion includes a walking and riding path connecting key corridors like Gilson, Rosewood Park, and Eastern. The slide shows a rendering of a walking path. And the second feature is Can we move to the next slide? Is a 2 pickleball courts, approximately 20 by 14 feet in size. A pump track, about 5,000 square feet. Some water fountain stations. Updated landscaping and lighting. Seating areas and gathering spaces, and possible public art installations. So staff is requesting council to authorize the staff to release a request for proposal to select a qualified design consultant through a competitive bid process and ensure cost-effective and high-quality design process. The next step in the process will be, once the RFP and consultant has been brought on board, evaluate the existing site conditions, refine scope and confirm feasibility, assessment of required utilities and coordination with the utility companies, prepare conceptual and construction-ready plans, ensure ADA and regulatory compliance, develop cost estimates and environmental documents. The staff requests the council to authorize the staff to issue an RFP for the design services and approve $300,000 appropriation for the design phase from the project management fund, that is Fund 12. And that's conclude my presentation. If you have any question.
Honorable Mayor, Member City Council, if I may add to the presentation, obviously we're trying to utilize this unused space, right, for a recreational use. I want to note, you can see it on this slide here, is we will be taking several parking existing spaces for an entry into this area, and then there's a walking path along that facility all the way connecting into Rosewood Park. In there you could see a little bit in the peak that the property line for that oddly shaped building actually extends into the existing project, but further down the line, if you go down to the walking path, there you go. You see that on the top left corner, they're kind of infringing upon our property, so that's an issue we need to resolve, but that shouldn't delay the RFP and the design work. And so the goal is to essentially have a shovel-ready project to utilize this unused land for recreational use. And that concludes my comments.
Okay, thank you for that, Mr. City Manager. The one thing I do want to add, I walked this area about a month ago with the city manager, our director of Parks and Recreation, Adolfo Marquez, Alan from Parks, travel sports supervisor, and Giselle. And as I walked through this path, the weeds were really high and stuff got in my socks and shoes, but there's just so much opportunity in that piece of land. And I think in the past we've always talked about it being a walking path, right? But I think we also had some things at play that would, possibly take over that land, but I think we have those things resolved. And so as I think about, some of the things that our council is passionate about, art, walkability, bicycling, skateboarding, whatever it is, right? With the pump track or the all wheels park, it feels like this would be a good fit for something like that, right? It's something that I think could be like a really just a communal space for the city. And so I think it's a great idea, but if anybody has any questions or any comments, I'll take them. Councilwoman?
Just really quick, as it relates to, I know we talked about like the art component, so that part, that would come out of the arts and basis fund, right? Come out of this fund?
Potentially, and I think we can look at it in phases, right? Until we have a design and we know what that includes, I don't know that we could say yes or no, but potentially, right? I would think so. I just know that there's a lot of walls in there, right? There's a lot of space. So, whether it's murals, whether it's art installations along the path, I think, we can be creative and kind of think of something, but I think something like that could be.
I think the RFP will ask for ideas for artwork throughout, right? Whether it's implemented, it's up to the city council.
And then, so I see that it's going to come from the project management fund. remind me, is that connected to budget double A money?
Negative. These are,
Is there a component where we can tap into budget double A?
so certainly you can, in the upcoming budget, right? We can plug this money into that if you wish to do that. I want to be clear that this is to create a shovel-ready project, meaning the construction of approximately $2 to $2.5 million is still to be determined as far as its funding source. Okay.
Yeah. And I think the goal here is really just to have a shovel-ready project ready to go, and then go to our legislators, our county supervisor, ask for money, right? Because grants are issued to projects that are pretty much ready to go, right? Because they want to be there for the ribbon cutting, for the groundbreaking, for that presentation. So,
Thank you.
great questions.
So just a quick question. Where is the pickleball court going to be?
So I think in this concept, right, it'll be in closer to Gilson, right? But I think ultimately that will be defined by the design.
Oh. Is this where the housing is?
So, correct.
Okay. That's it. Thank you.
Okay. All right, thank you for that question. Any other questions or comments? Okay, at this,
Like, when the design phase comes, if we have like, positions that we would take there? Or this is just for the money for our, correct?
The RFP and to select someone to design the park, the concepts that the person that designs will come back to council, and then you could make refined changes.
correct. Okay, great question. So at this time, I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the item per staff's recommendation.
I'll second that.
Okay, so we have a motion by myself and a second by Councilman Argumedo. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Thank you for your presentation, Director Abbas. Are we good on the item, Mr. City Manager?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. I saw a little mini conference happening over there, so. We're good? Okay. All right, so we'll go ahead and move on to actually, we're going to continue item number 17 until the next meeting, which will be on April 28th. So we'll move on to item number 18, which is a resolution approving the City of Commerce's Economic Opportunity Zones program. Who will be presenting on this today?
Honorable Mayor, members of City Council, I will attempt to prepare a presentation which meets City Council needs and requirements.
And a truth is good.
This is a part of the city's efforts in conjunction with the Big Four, but really an independent assertive measure to really put the City of Commerce out there as an industrial and commercial hub. None of the other three cities have yet to take this to council with regards to having official incentive programs available in our negotiations with different commercial and industrial uses and retail. And so before you is some proposed incentives. I want to be clear that these are approved as for staff to be able to advertise and when we meet with folks to negotiate. But ultimately, all of these potential incentive programs would have to come back in the form of a development agreement with the person interested in coming to the City of Commerce and doing business here. And they would have to meet the requirements that staff is seeking with regards to why we would want that business in our community, right? There has to be a benefit, whether financial, beautification, or improvement of blight that helps this community address all the many issues they have. So there is, unfortunately, an out-migration of business activity in California. States like Florida, I think saw the biggest increase over the last year with regards to companies leaving California and going to Florida, Georgia, Texas. And it really is a combination of different factors, but ultimately it points to the cost of doing business, right? And so what we want to do in commerce is provide incentives that help levy the playing field, level the playing field. The one thing that we heard, the mayor and staff, and we attended a conference called ICON. It's the equivalent of ICSC, but it's specific for commercial and industrial facilities. Everybody basically agrees that California has the best workers, right? California has the best weather, but there's a lot of financial restrictions as to why some businesses consider moving outside the state. And so before you are several incentives that we hope will align the city's long-term goals with economic initiatives up and down the state of California, create jobs, and beautify different areas of the city that have not been touched for years, and really make us, along with the other 3 cities, very competitive in attracting new business back to California. And so some examples of the incentives that we're talking about is a sales tax rebate. I think you're all familiar with those kinds of programs. Low interest loans, fee waivers, marketing support, expedited approvals, site selection assistance, utility rebates, and I can add one more is that you already are in the process of designating parts of the city for other purposes, so we essentially pre-entitle parts of the city that would allow these companies to come in and take advantage of these incentives. What we are asking in return is that these folks are high sales tax generators, or they're consistent with the city's view or vision for what you want to see in a city as far as economic development. And it could be as simple as beautify a blighted area of the city. And then obviously we are hoping that they bring jobs to our community. So we recommend the city council approve the list of incentives that are proposed, so that as we continue the process of reaching out to potential businesses in California and outside of the state, that we have these tools to increase our economic development impact in the city. I can answer any questions.
Thank you for that, Mr. City Manager. Does the City Council have any questions, comments about this item? Just echoing the City Manager's comments, I think for us, it's really important to attract new business, and we want to make sure that we're creating jobs, right, bringing additional revenue to the city, but there's also a lot of existing structures or just lots that are blighted, and so the more tenancy we can attract, right, the more we can beautify and improve the look of those, which will then hopefully cascade across the neighborhood and across other blocks, right? So I think this is a mechanism that we're trying to deploy to do something like this, but specifically, just bringing jobs to the community, right, and bringing more revenue to the city. So if no other questions at this time, I'll entertain a motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilwoman Rebollo to approve per staff's recommendation, and a second by Councilman Argumedo. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Great. Okay, so now we are going to move on to City Council reports. And I'm going to go ahead and move over to my left to Councilwoman Rebollo. Okay, all right. Councilwoman Rebollo, no comments. Now I'll move on to my right, Councilmember Altamirano.
Absolutely. I just want to say thank you to the residents and council members that reached out to me with my mom being sick. She's home now. And always, Oralia, I always say thank you. You live right next door, and you're always concerned. You're with your mom and always, looking out. So I appreciate that very much. Just want to say thank you.
Okay, glad she's feeling better and on the road to recovery. So thank you for those comments. Councilmember Argumedo.
Thank you, Mayor. Had the opportunity to attend the the basketball banquets. We just finished with the basketball. I want to thank all of our coaches, all of our Parks and Recreation staff for just the basketball series with all of the parks and everything. I think it was really awesome. I mean, our kids are both participating in the program, and they really enjoyed it. I went to each of the banquets with the exception of, I believe it was maybe veterans possibly that I missed. It was on Monday, but anyways, I couldn't get to that one. I had a conflict on my schedule, but the other three I did attend, and it was just good to be there to get to hear from everybody I did get a lot of good positive comments about the selection of the Rosewood Park facility as a place for having the banquets. They felt they had a lot more room to work with. In Bandini's case, those were some of the comments that I got from folks, and also in Bristol's case, because their space is a little bit limited over there too. So they were making comments along those lines. They liked the space that they were working with, and they seemed to be pretty happy with overall everything. So thank you to you, Adolfo, Patty, and all of the staff that was working to make it happen. Thank you guys. Great job. I also attended the dance recital over at the Commerce Casino. Wow, great event. What a beautiful facility for that. I think we should use it as much as we can, if we have other events. It just lends itself for that kind of an event. And it was very well attended. I understand that that was changed in very short notice of time, because I think you guys weren't sure on the location where it was going to be. But regardless, you guys had great turnout, lots of parents there, and everybody in attendance there really enjoyed the performance of all of our kids there, particularly the little ones there. They were great. So thank you again. Great job once again. And I also had an opportunity, along with other members of the City Council, I believe everybody was there, all of the members of the City Council, Mayor, were all at the State of the County, presented by Supervisor Janice Hahn. She did a great job as usual. They really do, she does a great job in her presentations. And I want to give credit to her staff also. They're very creative in how they work in just using different terms related to cart clubs, and everybody's keeping track of how many there is, and they get a prize, and whoever comes up with the number of terms, and I believe it was 33 terms that were in the presentation. So that's really creative on their part. And it also keeps everybody's attention, of course, because they're paying attention to everything that is being said. And I want to give a shout out to her staff for their creativity in putting that presentation together, and of course to the Commerce Business Council for hosting that evening, Robert Taylor and all of their staff and the board of directors. I think it's a very, very well attended event. You get to see a lot of the different elected officials from the district that she represents. And we had several folks there. It gives us an opportunity to just chat and enjoy the Commerce Casino. The casino obviously has been a great partner with this community, and not only the community, but the region in general. So it's just good to see the use of this and see other cities coming to see the casino, because there's been occasions where people say, "Oh, I've never been to the Commerce Casino," but now that we're having some of our meetings, Councilmember Boyo, who has hosted some of the contract cities meetings there as well, we get some of those same comments there, and just getting the supervisor who make her presentations. I think it's awesome. So thank you, great presentation. We really enjoyed it. And of course, I did also represent the city at a Gaming Cities Coalition meeting. As you know, very, very important activities going on related to the Commerce Casino, and that's what these meetings are. I represent the City of Commerce. The meeting was held in the city of Compton, and we just got an update on what's taking place related to the ongoing gaming changes that the Attorney General has recommended, and we're trying to stay on top of that. We got an update. Basically, we're waiting to. There's a challenge. The Commerce Casino and others are obviously challenging that, and we were just trying.
With Janice Hahn. She did bring up a lot of great ideas for Safer County and outlined forthcoming initiatives. Thank you to the Commerce Business Council who organized the event with the support of the Commerce Casino. I also attended the sound check night at the Blue Note Teen Clubs at the Teen Club Center. These kids were amazing. It was so exciting to see them enjoying themselves and sharing their humor with the audience. There was one participant that, in particular, that was very funny. He reminded me of someone that sits to my left here. He was great. He just made me laugh all day, and he's just really funny, just like his father here. But a truly wonderful performance by the talented group. So it was fun to see that. Great job, Teen Club. Social Services, thank you for Ed. Thank you, Ed, for taking the time to help out and share our resources for Commerce to the homeless individuals that need help. Continue to please do that. Get out there and just keep sharing our resources so that we can help these individuals as best we can. Also, the library staff always does a great job in obtaining grants for money. With this year's funds, they are focusing on gardening and plants. Those are my two favorite things, so I can't wait to see that. That's going to be exciting. And I do want a copy of that book that you were talking about that's coming out May 8th. So maybe you can give us all the copy. That'd be wonderful. We never get a chance to thank our administrative staff that's in the back helping us out. So I want to thank them for all their hard work that they do. I know I do a lot of last minute calls, and so they always get it done. And so thank you, administrative staff. Just a reminder that the Traveling Vietnam Wall is coming to Commerce. Please join us from May 22nd to the 26th as we host this moving tribute to our veterans. We invite the community to come together to honor their service and sacrifice. Mark your calendars for this beautiful special event. Please come out. I'd like to see if we can adjourn the meeting tonight with the memory of Guillermo Lara, Miss Lara's son. I grew up with him. All the kids in the neighborhood on Pacific Drive in the Veterans Park area, we used to play baseball, frisbee, we used to rollerblade, skate. We used to do all these fun things, and it's a terrible loss that he's gone. And just a lot of prayers for the family. I know Miss Lara right now is in a very sad moment, and I just, whatever she needs, please reach out to me so we can adjourn it. Thank you.
Absolutely, and thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Condolences to the Lara family. I'll make my reports quick. I attended the dance recital on April 4th. I want to echo Councilmember Argumedo's sentiments. I thought it was a great series of performances, right? From dance to ballet to cheer to ballet folklorico, unplugged. Everybody did such a phenomenal job. It was really well attended, and I agree. I feel like the community members felt a little bit different, right, walking into the casino and attending the event there. So I think it should be a standard practice. So hopefully we can get that mobilized. But phenomenal work by the Department of Parks and Recreation, all the class instructors, and of course all of the performers and their parents and guardians. So that was great. On April 8th, I attended the State of the County for Supervisor Janice Hahn at the Commerce Casino. Definitely wanted to thank the supervisor for providing the State of the County in the City of Commerce, and want to thank the Commerce Business Council for hosting such a great event. Like my colleague to my right, I also attended the sound check at the Teen Center on April 10th, on Friday, and I thought the kids did a great job. It's just really great to see them learning instruments, doing covers, whether it's, Green Day or the Marias or Nirvana. Nirvana, some of the bands and songs that I grew up listening to. It's really great. My son did okay. Got to coach him up a little bit, but I'll talk to him. No, I'm really proud of him. I thought he did great, as did all the teens that there did, right? But, thank you to our Teen Center Supervisor, Amber Torres, and your team, right? Juliana Picasso and Joseph Monsivais, who really just kind of lead that program. I thought it was great, and I think there's another show coming up, and we'll let that be announced, but I know the kids are really excited about that, and I heard rumblings that other kids wanted to join the program as well. So
It started today.
yeah, so it's growing, which is good. Growing and going. This morning, we met with Congressman Robert Garcia's office and his district director, Jack Cunningham, who's the city manager, our director of parks, Adolfo Marquez, director of library services, Sonia Bautista, Giselle Delgado, and Patty Barunga, and really want to thank you all for kind of supporting that tour of commerce, and want to thank the transportation department and the drive around the city, but just highlighting some of the things that we're trying to do here in the city, right? I know Congressman Garcia will only be our congressman through the end of the year with some redistricting. I know that's going to shift, but it's a small world sometimes, right? And he's well networked, so hoping that us bringing light to some of the projects and some of the things that we want to do here in the city will kind of get some support for our position. So that was great. I do want to remind the community that on Saturday, bright and early at 8 a.m., we're going to have an Earth Day community cleanup at Bristow Park. So I invite the community to come out and attend. We're going to plant some trees, clean up the area, and really just celebrate what Earth Day is all about. Earth is pretty cool, right? I like it, right? So I think we should celebrate it, right? So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. The last thing, I do have a request for staff and Mr. City Manager, if you could humor me here, and hopefully, I know I have consensus from the council here, but obviously there is a lot of work going on at Veterans Park, right? The demolition is underway. More and more people are seeing what is going on over there, and the truth is that that facility was built on landfill, all of it, right? So it was sinking. It's been a risk for years, so it was a long time coming, but I do request that we put out as a city like a PSA or an official statement on what's happening at Veterans Park and what the new vision for that area will be, and then our new community center and park as well, right? Just in the spirit of transparency, keeping people informed, because I think now that people are driving down the freeway and seeing that site, they don't know what's going on, right? So I think it's something that we should look into. So, yeah, so we should do that. I do have a request to adjourn in Guillermo Lara's honor, but we can't adjourn yet because we do have to go back into closed session. But I'll be sure to do that when we do adjourn. I think we do have an audible comment from a person who did not have council reports, but she does, Councilwoman Rebollo.
I completely forgot, Mr. Mayor, we can add, to close the meeting also, to former employee, Rock Redmond, employee, resident, raised his family here in the city of Commerce. A huge loss to our department. I met him when I was, I think, like 20 years old working at Veterans Park. Mentor, coach, you name it. Ron Reyes was just a totally unique, down-to-earth person. Huge loss to this earth, but a gain to the angels in heaven. And we can also add Ron Reyes to
Absolutely. A couple of big losses to the community recently, so my condolences to the Lara and Reyes family. So we'll be sure to adjourn the meeting in their honor, but this time we're going to go ahead and reconvene to closed session. Thank you all. Have a great evening. Take care.
Oh.